Welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's high time we understand what our relationship with our teens truly needs to be. A flower can bloom only when the gardener, the soil, and the environment work in harmony. To support its growth, the same is true for our teens. They thrive when the people around them, be it parents, educators, teachers, and the entire community creates an atmosphere that nurtures their individuality, respects their pace, and support their emotional worth. We must collectively build an ecosystem where teens feel safe to be themselves, free from unnecessary stress or mental pressure, and empowered to grow into the best versions of who they are meant to be. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We are overwhelmed to have so many people having faith in us. This is the third session of our series of Teen Mental Wellness Masterclasses. We are here today with Vannessa, who's the speaker of this evening. Can we have Vannessa? Are you there?
I'm here in the room.
We would like to see you here. Yeah. Thank you very much, Vannessa. We are really overwhelmed having you for this very important session. So, as you know, that we are, this is the third session of our master classes, which we actually are conducting under this very important subject, which we have taken, teen mental wellness. So, this is, this today's topic is very close to my heart, Vannessa. I have been struggling to strike a balance, for a very long time, because I'm also a mother of a teenage student. What do you think? Is there a set rule, set of rules, or some kind of, I would say, guidance or something which you think that should be there to be a good parent, or we just keep struggling? How does it actually work? Thank you very much for joining us today, Vannessa, first of all. Welcome.
Thank you and good evening. Thank you for having me here. I'm so honored to be here in your presence with you and everyone else who's joining. That question, I think, is an age-old question. Unfortunately, we all know as parents there is no guidebook. But I would say yes, there is no manual. Actually, I should say this, there's no manual, but there is a guide to how we as parents can respond to our children and have that better relationship with them.
Great. So we would learn more about this, Vannessa. I would quickly introduce my speaker of the evening today to all of you. This entire session is going to be of 90 minutes, where 60 minutes would be a presentation by Vannessa, and then we would enter into a question and answer, where we would be very, very happy to take questions from all our participants. Let it be the parents, the teachers, and the students, because today the center of this session are the parents. I must say that. So though we are welcoming the students as well as the educators and the parents, we would love to hear some of the parents too. You can drop your questions to Q&A. And then we would also take some of the video questions. The people who are willing to come and talk to our speakers directly, being on screen, please open your cameras and raise your hands to be a part of that session. So yes, Vannessa, once again, a very warm welcome to you. We are really thankful to you for taking out time and being here with us for this very important session, this masterclass, which is all about the right parenting and how we can, I don't know whether we can prepare ourselves since the very beginning, but we can learn along the way to become better parents typically to our teenage students. Though The parenting begins even when we have a child with us. So yes, Vannessa is a conscious life and parenting coach who helps overwhelmed parents reconnect with themselves so they can raise emotionally healthy children without losing their sense of balance or identity. Her work focuses on supporting parents from the inside out. Instead of prescribing rigid parenting techniques, she helps them unpack the deeper emotional patterns, beliefs, and stresses that shape how they show up every day. With her compassionate, grounded approach, Vannessa guides parents towards becoming the version of themselves who can parent with intention, calm, and clarity. She hosts soulful community led spaces from group wellness challenges and reflective circles to live meetups and works. One on one with women navigating overwhelm, guilt, burnout, and emotional triggers. She has also curated and led a large scale parenting summit that brought together experts and parents for meaningful conversations and growth. Now, Vannessa is building Cascade Conscious Community, a supportive, non-judgmental virtual home for parents. Inside this community, parents can find a virtual space that is supportive and non-judgmental, very, very important, to help them parent more mindfully in a rapidly changing world. Vannessa believes that conscious parenting isn't about perfection, it's about presence, self awareness, and growing alongside your child. Her mission is to create spaces where parents feel seen, supported, and empowered to raise emotionally grounded kids while staying connected to their own well being. So, welcome everyone once again. We are here with our speaker of the evening, Vannessa. Thank you very much for joining us for this third masterclass of our series, How to Respond, Not React to Your Child's Behavior. A very, very, very important topic indeed in today's scenario to be discussed. Thank you, Vannessa. Thanks for joining us. It's over to you now. Yes.
Thank you very much. And I am, as I said, completely honored to be here with everyone in this room. And I hope that tonight, for you this evening, that we can share and what I've learned from my experience and working with parents that you can learn too. But before we begin, I would like to ask you in the chat box, now it's going to be a bit difficult, but I will try my best. Put in a P if you're a parent, E if you're an educator, and T if you're a teen joining us today. I love to see what comes up. Yes, let's go. Thank you. Oh, look at that. I love to see teens in the room. That's lovely. If we could have more teens as well. Yes, they are. How lovely is that? Fabulous. Keep that coming, and I'll look at that. So good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. So I'm Vannessa, as you know, and what I'll go through today is to briefly show you some things that are a lot of our minds, all right? So one of the things that I will share with you is this. We have parenting myths that surround us that make us feel that parenting is so hard, and so we react rather than we respond. We'll also be looking at some of our parenting reactions, and we'll see whether you identify with some of them. I'll also be going through with you some proven strategies so that you can become a more conscious parent and build the stronger connections with your children and your family. And finally, just this invite to come together as a parenting community, like what we are doing right now, is a very powerful opportunity for all of us, right? So I have a lot of parents who come to me and parents-to-be who ask me these questions. Why is parenting so hard? It seemed to be so much easier for my parents. What am I doing wrong? Why is everything so wrong when I'm trying to parent my child? How do I manage parenting challenges without feeling overwhelmed? And why are today's children so disrespectful? These are some common things that parents actually come up to me and ask me. And I wonder for how many of you these questions resonate with you. If they do, put why in the chat box. You ask these questions And sometimes these might make you think about whether you're on the right path to parenting. Thank you. Now, teens in the audience, that doesn't mean that today we are just going to look at our parents and say, yeah, you don't know how to parent. I also would like this to be a reflective opportunity for both of us, or all of us. We got parents, educators, and teachers in the room. So let's look at teens. I know that some children wonder, why is my mom always telling me what to do? My parents nag to me about everything, school, grades, my bedroom. I understand, about the evils of social media, like how come, why can't they just trust me with it? And I also get teenagers who say, hey, the world has changed, why are my parents so old-fashioned? So today I like to bridge that gap with understanding all around, whether we are a parent, an educator, or a teen in this room, because the basis of all communication and connection is compassion for each other. So that's how I'm coming to you with today, all right, with compassion and understanding. Now, let me just tell you a little bit, and I'll take you through my own journey and why I've come here. So, about 50 odd years ago, so you know how old I am, this little girl was born to a family of mixed heritage. And as she was growing up, she was also peppered by questions about, ooh, what race are you? Ooh, now you grew up in that family. Oh, so this is how you're supposed to behave. Oh, your religion tells you that you should be a good girl. And as I was growing up, I had more things about, you're the eldest daughter. You should know how to behave. You should be looking after your brothers. You should be scoring the best grades you can, because your parents are working hard for you. And then as I grew up, I traveled because of work. And this is the 5th country I'm living in now. And I still get questions about, who are you? What race are you? Where are you from? So much so that it questions even who am I, my own identity growing up. And these questions were there on my mind all the time, from my childhood to my adulthood, until I became a parent and realized there must be a better way to raise children, to have communications with children, and to talk to people in general, and not make them feel as if they were outsiders, alien, and so different in their lives. In my travels and work, and in my family and working with families, I say that what I've noticed across all is that we're all the same, no matter what race, language, religion, culture we come from. We all want to do the best we can for our kids. And in doing that, we must remember, in doing the best we can for our kids, we got to start reflecting. And this is what I want to start with you today. So I told you about my story in my life because as I was growing up, I too had a parenting movie. Mine was a Disney movie. I got married, I had my daughter, and I thought, I'll be the best mother I can be. Not the way my mother brought me up. We will be dressed this way and we'll be playing this game and that game. And when she cried, I would know how to look after my daughter. Oh, don't worry. I'll be the greatest mother I could think of. And then I had my daughter. And as you know, parents out there and educators, when that child walks into your life or into that classroom, that Disney movie breaks down. It is not the truth anymore. And that is when it becomes shattering, because then we realize, why is my child not following my script, right? She's ruined my parenting dream. I really wanted to be this beautiful, caring, thoughtful mother. But look at me now. She's just gone spoiling all that. How many of us have felt that way? We thought about what lovely parents we would be, the expectations on us, and then our child comes into our life crying, saying no, and standing up for themselves. And that all fantasy that we have breaks down. So what happens when that fantasy breaks down and there's cracks in your mirror of who you are as a parent? Anyone ever feel that way? You were told you had this dream about parenting and suddenly you have all these cracks in your story? You must have, right? So, my question to you now is this. We'll take a short pause and I'm going to ask you, what do you think my point I was trying to make when I told you the story of myself and I told you the story of my Disney dream about being a parent? You can put your answers in the chat box. What do you think I was trying to say to you about parenting and how we start becoming parents? Anyone wants to share? Well, becoming a parent is, and how we grow up. Look at that. That's me in the middle. As a parent, we grow with our child. We are not perfect. Yes, definitely. We should focus on the whole child. Definitely. Thank you for those comments. Lovely. So just keep them coming in, and when I can, I will read them to you. What I wanted you to take away from this first part is that as a human being and as a person, we are surrounded by the many things that make up who we are. Our parents, our relatives, school, our religion, our culture, the clubs we belong to, the friends we keep, the books we read, the TV and movie shows we watch. All these things penetrate us. And we take in what we want. Sometimes we don't want it, but it becomes part of a routine in our lives. And when we take this all in, and if we don't stop to think about these things that affect us, they control us. They make us. And then we say, oh, I'm like this, and I'm hot-tempered, and I'm just frustrated. And we make this as I am, rather than I feel. And that feeling can go away. So, yes, we should behave as friends with our children. I'm like my friend to my son. Thank you for the comments. What I'm trying to say also here is that we, as adults, have been influenced over the years we've been growing up by all these things around us that shape us. And when they shape us, it shows us that we are complex human beings and there's no one answer to any solution or any problems that we have. Now, let me throw something else in. It's called the cultural matrix. So you were growing up. Let me just do this first. Remind you again, when you were growing up, you were surrounded by all these influences in your life. You took in things, they shaped you, the way you thought, the way you behaved, the way you reacted. Then you became a parent. And as you became a parent, you were told these things. As a parent, you cannot just be average. You see, your child cannot be average too. Your child has to grow up to be the best they can be. And if your child didn't grow up the best they can be, there's something wrong with you as a parent. You were told that your child should be able to play a musical instrument or play a sport and be the best or be a reader and be adventurous. We were told. And then we also put pressure on ourselves and say to ourselves, my child needs to grow up happy. As if happy is an object or a destination. And finally, we are told a good parent is supposed to create, curate, and produce the perfect child with the perfect childhood. If you did not do all this, you failed as a parent. And so we take in more of these beliefs. And we place it upon our own shoulders as parents, right? And we feel weighed down. Now, let me bring this to teenagers. As teens are growing up, they too are surrounded by family, relatives, friends, culture, religion, TV, book, everything is impacting them too. And they are growing up with also this belief. If I am average, it's not acceptable. I have to score excellent marks. I need to make my parents proud of me. I must show them that I am respectful, thoughtful, loving, kind, compassionate, giving. Wow! Have you actually sat down, parents, to also think all these adjectives that we want our children to become and the pressure that is on them and on us? We also look for teens, they might be thinking, you know what? A good parent takes care of me and support me financially, emotionally, psychologically. You know, that makes a good parent. Or a good parent allows me to enjoy my life, go out there with my friends and understand what I need as a child. So I want us to have these two at the ends. Parents have things that are influencing us. That's the culture that is imposed on us. Teens also have a culture imposed on them. But they also, just like parents, should be in that situation where we can reflect and think about all the things and all the beliefs that are imposed on us to make us feel that we have to achieve something. This I call the cultural matrix that's affecting us. Let me see if you have any more questions or comments. I love this. This is interactive. Teachers should also behave like friends to children. Well, I'll get to some of that, some of these comments. I love your comments, so keep them coming. Thank you very much. So now what happens when a parent is surrounded by all these things that make us a very complex human being with ideas and expectations floating in? What arises from us is called the parental ego. I'm not referring to the ego as your big head and you need to be honored and with pride. No. We are often told by authority figures that we are the grown-ups as parents, and we should know better what to do when our children cry, when our children scream, when our children don't want to eat the food in front of us. We were told that in that situation, we also have to be perfect, knowledgeable. We have all these telling us in our heads what's going on. But then, when these things happen and there's so many expectations of us, we will end up doing one of these things sometimes. We may yell and scream at our kids. We might self-blame and say, my gosh, why am I such a bad parent? How come I cannot do this? But my neighbor seems to have such a good relationship with their daughter. I might withdraw and say, I'd rather not engage with my child. Every time I talk to my teen, they seem so angry, I'd rather not talk. Or I might just say, I'm working late every night and I don't want to go home and face my family. I'd like to say something to you parents, whether you're an educator also and a parent. I am not here to blame or shame or guilt anyone. I'm just saying that through my experience and even my own personal experience, these are some of the things that I've done myself. Yell at my kid because at that time I was not a very conscious person. So just realizing and awakening to these things. Do I do all these things? Do I behave that way? Right? So what do I mean? A little bit more. What do I mean by this ego? So Yo calls it the center of awareness within our being, where it kind of has our individual identity, the sense of personal identity. Who am I? We like to say who I am. Some teachers today call it the pain body, or Dr. Gabor Mate calls it's the protective mechanism that jumps out at us when we are faced with a situation that triggers us. My crying child inside of me, I come out and I scream because I need to protect myself. And all these thoughts go in my head and my child is screaming at me. So I react instead of respond. So there's a difference. Now, there's a lot going on in here, I know, for today's an hour. It's so much that I have, and I'm trying to pack it in as much as I can. So if it gets a bit heavy and tricky, I'll try to slow down a little bit because I do want you to walk away with a little bit more understanding of yourself as we go on. So what are these parental egos that I'm talking about? Let's see if any of these resonate with you. Do you identify with any of them? Ooh, how do I control this situation? My child is screaming. How can I make it better? My child just came home and told me his friend was bullying him. I have to show the rest of the world that my daughter and I have a perfect relationship. We are just the best of friends. Hey, look out, world. Photograph. Oh my gosh, I am so tired. How do I just not talk to my kids? But they're calling, mommy, 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 mommy. And finally, I can't take this anymore. My husband is shouting at my kids are shouting at me, I'm shouting at my husband. I'm just walking away from now. I just need to go, and I'll leave and I'll come back when everything is better. Does this resonate with any one of you? Do you feel that way sometimes? Yeah, you can put it in the chat box. Yes, no, never. Let's see. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty, because when we come with open hearts and we're willing to share, the power of us talking as a community empowers another parent to look at it and feel that, yes, I don't need to be perfect. I'm a human being and I can learn and I can grow and become better. That's the take I always have. Yes, I understand. As an educator, when a parent approaches us with these questions, we definitely get confused on what to answer and how to figure it out. Yes, I hope that I will give you some tools later on to break away the labels. I'm a parent, I'm an educator, I'm a founder, I'm a CEO. I want to break that all away, and then we'll come back to the strategies. So let's look at these 5 egos that I have for you. The fighter. Now, what is the fighter? The The fighter is the person who straight away comes to anger, right? And everything that you say, they get defensive. They want to protect themselves. They feel that you are attacking them, or you're saying, if they hear their children say, I don't want that, they hear, I hate you. The fighter hears when the child says, no. The fighter hears, you are not good enough, Daddy. I can't stand you. And the fighter goes, oh, right? The fighter in us comes out. What is the fixer? The fixer is, oh no, I have to do something for my child. Look, that situation didn't work. Come here. Why did you get full grades? Let me find a way. Should we get a tutor? You sit down. Every day you're going to sit down for 1 hour and just work with me. The fixer goes in and jumps in before hearing other people's thoughts and opinions. They go in there because they feel so responsible for everybody else that they try to fix everybody else. The feigner, the one who says, I have to show the world that everything in my life is almost perfect, that I have the best relationship with my students or with my pals or with my children. I will take pictures, I will dress up, and I'll show the world. And when that fantasy breaks down, the feigner doesn't feel self-worth. They feel, nobody has liked my photograph. Nobody has commented on it. I'm not good enough. Oh no, I'm not done enough for my relationship with my child. They start going in and not feeling good about themselves. The freezer. The freezer, as the word freezer like a fridge, they stand there and the child comes and goes, Mommy, 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 hey, I need this. Hi, Mom, do you know where this are? And everything's happening for Mom and Mom and Mom. And Mom stands there and goes, I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't want to hear it. All my children are saying is that they want, and I cannot give anymore. And the freezer feels overwhelmed, like they are an overflowing bucket and with lots of holes, and they're giving and giving and giving. So they just stand there and not do anything. The fleer. The fleer is one when someone comes and goes, hey, Daddy, you coming to watch that game? You promised me, right? The last time you said you're going to come watch that game with me. Come on, this is the final cricket game. I really need you to be there, Dad. And the fleer goes, oh my gosh, I have to be there. But I don't really want to be there because I have so much work to do. Oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. Now my child wants me to be there. And if they don't do well, I have to pretend that they did well. And the fleer thinks, you know what? I cannot manage my own feelings. And I cannot manage the child's feelings. If I walk away, it doesn't exist. So these 5 parental egos have been classified by psychologists. And this is the easiest way, I feel, that for most of us to understand that we might be in a few of them, not just one of them. Certain things might come up that make you want to fight, make you want to protect, make you want to run away. And that is, where did we get all these things, you think? Where did we learn to fight, to feign, to flee, or to fix? Anybody wants to share that? Where did this come out from? Where did you as an adult learn to try to fix somebody else's problem? Where did you as a parent learn to fight and be angry? Where did you learn this from? Madhumita, where did you learn that from? I would say when I was growing up and not very conscious about myself and my world around me, I was a fighter too. We learn a lot from our parents. Yes, I am not blaming our parents. I'm asking us to reflect upon it. And I say this to a lot of my adult clients. When we come in and we say, I learned this from my parents, I learned this from my aunt, my grandfather, I say, yes, we have picked it up from them. But because you know that you've picked it up from them, now you are aware. We don't blame them, but we say they did the best they could at that period of time when they were reacting to us. So because I observed and I learned and I don't want it, I can try to stop reacting and I can start responding. So this is what this session is about. How do I stop reacting? Awareness, right? And how do I start responding? Thinking of better strategies. Yes, the environment, the one that I showed you earlier, we are surrounded by things that influence us. So we are there. Okay? And as I said again, we are a mixture of things. We're not just one. We can come in and out depending on the situation. We are so flexible, that we flow in and out depending on what is triggered within us, and that we have not learned to calm and rectify. So let me say this. Why am I reacting and not responding? So thank you for your comments, because you brought some of these things up. These are the generational patterns that were passed on to us through observation, through language, through routines, through behaviors that we saw. And then when we learn that, it becomes reaction. A reaction is a habit. We don't even think twice about it. We don't think about breathing. We don't think about blinking, because it's automated in our bodies. And we do that. And when a child is born, the first breath to expand the lungs, the child cries. And the child doesn't know much about the world, because the body is learning to first survive. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Get that automated. Heart is beating. Get that automated. Eyes blinking. Get that automated. Once the basic skills of survival has been automated, the child's brain grows. The child learns to engage with the world, speak, talk, walk. And the rest is automated. So when we are reacting, that is the automation that we are in. We don't even think, we just react, fight, flee, pain. Now, together with the cultural matrix, the things around us, the expectations that make us feel shy, embarrassed, guilty, that we have to be the good girl, the good boy, the good child, all these things come together and creates an ego. So teens in the room, when I'm talking about parental ego, I'm not just pointing a finger and saying, hey, your parents are at fault. I'm also engaging with you and asking you. Things have been passed on to you, you may observe. You observe your own environment. When you observe, am I creating my ego as a teen right now? And because you're in this room right now, you have a chance to start changing yourself at an earlier stage than even I had. I started only realizing consciousness when I was in my 30s, and that was a long time before I came to awareness. So to teenagers in the room today, I say bravo for being here, because you are on the path to start opening up your awareness, and you then create that good relationship with your own children. And for parents who are in this room, there is no such thing as, am I too late? You're never too late. You start wherever you are. That is my belief, because I know, as I said, in my 30s, then I started actually thinking of being aware of the things around me and not reacting, but responding. Okay? So now I ask you this. Pause and reflect a little bit. What point do you think I'm trying to make about what I've just said about this section? And what can the picture be saying to you as a bit of a metaphor for you? And I'll read your comments in the chat box. And good evening to everyone who has greeted us. Good evening. What a point am I trying to make? The man is showing anger, yes. What is around the man's hands? His wrists, sorry. To be patient, okay. Try to control anger. We are tied. To pause and reflect before reacting. Kriti, thank you for that. Although, yes, hands are tied with emotion. Lovely. Yes, there's so many things. You see, can you see your perspective? One image has so many different perspectives. And this is also very important, because my perspective in looking at my child is only my perspective. My perspective as a teenager looking at my parents is only my perspective. How can we get child and parent perspective so that you can see each other with more understanding and compassion? That's where we break down the reaction. We try to extremely hard. Yes, we try very hard. But we have emotions. We have expectations. We have these beliefs drilled into us. And then we say, I want. And we feel like, I need to break this. I say something to you. And I've said this to many different parents and in talks. Not every parent like what I have to say. But I say this. You cannot change with just willpower. You cannot change because you say, I want to change. You cannot change because suddenly today you feel motivated after this talk and you say, I will change. There is only so much that we can do with those things, the willpower. After that, you might lose that willpower when you're bombarded with lots and lots of things every day. A crying child, a child who are not meeting your expectations of grades, a room full of students who are noisy and misbehaving. So willpower is not enough. The man is trying to break free, and for us parents to break free of the chain of this cultural matrix is to go inward and to actually start reflecting. And this, I say to you, is a journey. There is no end game. You can't say, today I do this, tomorrow I do that. In 500 days, I will reach there. It is a journey. Just like we bring our children up from a baby to then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're still growing. It would be lovely that we grow with them in our own reflection and our own betterment. So, thank you for sharing what you have said. So I say to you, to stop reacting and responding, the power to change the way we interact with our children lies with you. It is the power of you. You have the power in your hands. And because we want things to go a certain way, we also have a lot of expectations. And in that, I also now bring it to the teens. You want your parents to change. You want parents to do something. Your parents want. Can you see all the expectations? How in the end we clash because we are reacting to thinking the other person is not kind. The other person is not listening to us. So let's break this parental ego. Let's try to break the reacting. Desire for change. You are here now. So I believe that there is a desire in you to change. You want to learn, you want to do something different. Bravo to you. Congratulate yourself on this step. And I say that because the first step sometimes can be the hardest. To climb up a hill, to start a jog or a marathon, the first steps are difficult. Now, what is the next step? Is building awareness. So let's do a daily practice of awareness. This brings out your body to being more alert to how you're reacting to your children or to your classroom of students, even teens. Building this daily practice will help you understand, how am I reacting to my parents, to my grandparents, to my auntie, or maybe to the teachers in school, because you, my dear teens, are surrounded by a lot of authority figures, and I understand the pressure on you. And again, I want you to remember this, please. There is no blame, no shame, no guilt in this process. I am not here to guilt trip you, but I want you to go deep to understand. So there's only so much in knowing. So today's session is about knowing, and the daily practice is the doing to get better. So we build awareness each day when we do that, right? So what does it mean to build awareness? I will talk about that again, and then building practice. Let's go on. So building awareness. Some of us recognize some of the masks we wear. Some of you said you were a fighter. Some of you said, oh, I'm a fixer. We are a combination of that. I am afraid that because of the lack of time, I cannot go down to the minutiae of all these things. But this is the general picture. I ask you, as you build awareness, ask yourself, which is the mask that I'm wearing? Am I a fighter, a feigner, a fleer in the moment when you are triggered by something? What do I hear when my child speaks, behaves, or responds to me? What am I hearing? I know what you're saying. I hear your thoughts. Vannessa, if this is happening to me right in the moment, how can I think of all these things? And that's where daily practice is important. And I'll talk to you about that. Because when I first started this, I also said to myself, I'm angry straight away. How can I just not react? I want to say something. How do I control myself? Building awareness is this. If you are a fighter, your emotional signal is anger. Recognize anger. If you're a fixer, your emotional signal is anxiety. A famous emotional signal is attention seeking. I want everybody to look at me. The freezer's emotional signal is avoidance. I don't want to handle anything. The fleer's emotional signal is abandonment. I want to walk away. Recognize this. When you recognize this in you, you're asking yourself, where do I feel this rising in you? So when you're angry, Where do you feel anger coming in you? For me, it's in my jaw and in my forehead. I can feel it here. When I get anxious, I feel it rising from my stomach upwards. So that is where I am. I always like to say I'm a recovering people pleaser, which is a fixer. I try to fix a lot of things, but I'm trying to recover from that. I can feel that. How do we build awareness? How many of us here practice meditation? Just put yes in the box if you do, in the chat box. You do, thank you. Yes, yes. Meditation is such, as you know, a powerful, powerful tool to be in touch with your body. So this is translated into parenting 100 and thousands of times. In meditation, you recognize that you are feeling your body. You're recognizing the little bits and pieces that arise in your body, your breath, your heart beating. You're in a state of calm, and in this state of equanimity, you're trying to tell yourself, I try to be balanced, right? And you're recognizing your body. In today's world, that is called the somatic experience. Anything that experiences in our body comes to the body first before it goes to the brain, actually. So once you have anger and you recognize the anger, use your experience in meditation to breathe. And as you do that, a couple of breaths, you will have a little bit more clarity each time when you have that anger or that anxiety or that attention-seeking desire. And in that moment of clarity, then your next step would be, oh, this is triggering me. Oh, my child just said something to me, and now I know I'm unhappy. It's making me feel uncomfortable. It is not about my child, it's about me. I'll say that again. In the moment when you're triggered by your child, it is not about your child. It's about you, me, the parent. It's because in me, remember I said if you're a fighter and your child said, no, 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 you hear from your child, I hate you. I don't respect you. That's what you might hear as a fighter. So it's about us. So we ask ourselves, wait, why does that child's behavior upset me? And the more I do this reflection each day, the more I begin to dig down into the cultural matrix. Were you told when you were younger that if you said no, you were a bad boy or bad girl? Were you told when you were younger that if you did not finish all the rice on your plate, you are the most disrespectful child? We were told, and we carry all these stories in our head. So as a parent, when these things happen again, but our child is doing it to us, we feel and we are triggered. So, in building awareness, use your meditation experience to pause in that moment. You do not have to respond straight away to a crying child, to a demanding child, to a child who has tears and comes home frightened and shows you the test paper. You do not need to react straight away. Take a breath and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? If it's anger, calm myself. If it's anxiety, calm myself. If I want to run, calm myself, because it's not about my child, it's about me. I'm going to manage myself, then I respond to my child. And then you think, the more we do that, like breathing, blinking, heart beating, it becomes our normal routine. The gap between us reacting within that trigger will get better. How do I know that? Because I've seen parents practice this and it has worked, and I'm really strong and powerful in this belief that we start with ourselves. Now, the next thing I'll say in awareness is asking yourself, as a child, when you had, what did you need that you feel that your parents or guardians did not provide? Some of our parents were working very hard and they didn't have much time to spend with us. Some of our guardians were very angry with us and shouted at us because they too had their own stories and their own stress. Ask yourself, what did you need that you did not get? I know it's a very deep question and it's a very personal, private question. The more we are in connection with what we had needed before, then we won't project it onto our child. I've had parents who come into sessions there. I want my child to be the best musician there is. And when I ask them to go and to practice, they don't want to practice. They're tired. They want to play on their game. But don't they see? If they did it every day, they would be the best. And through conversations with the parents, I realized that when they were growing up, they did not have the chance to play a musical instrument because the family couldn't afford musical instruments. So now the parent grows up projecting their expectations on the child. So the more we sit and ask ourselves honestly, true honesty with ourselves, don't lie to yourself because no one's going to hear it, just you. What did I need? And if I did not get that, what can I do now as an adult? And because I did not get that, am I asking my child to fulfill my needs? Through my anger, through my anxiety, through my fixing? Raise that awareness for yourself and ask yourself that. Okay. Next pause point. What do you think I'm trying to say here about what I've just gone through? Oh, Jadid, thank you. I see so much of honesty in here. The way you've responded to my questions. Thank you for being very open. If we close our eyes and pretend that we are all right, we don't look within. If we pretend that everything is around us that's causing me the problem, then we will always be reacting. If I push away all the things and say, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, and don't look at it with myself, we will always be in reactive mode because your body is constantly protecting you. Your body doesn't want you to fall sick. Your body doesn't want you to feel anxious. Your body doesn't want you to feel sad. And because your body doesn't want to do that, neurologically, your brain and your body want to protect you. Your ego comes out to protect you. You shout, you run away, you freeze. So this is what I'm asking you to see. In order to improve the relationship, the way we talk to our children, our students, even ourselves, start with ourselves, looking at what is in me that I feel I needed to be given, but I have not been given. And I work with giving my inner child some of those things. Trust your journey and be conscious, but also learn your emotional style so that you can work on the same. Yes, we want so many things for our children if you think about it, right? We want, we should, they could. But can I ask you, where do you think children learn to be adults from? They learn from us. And if we mirror the negative things that we have in our lives, they will pick that up. Then we cannot be angry when our children turn around and shout at us if we were always shouting at them. If our children ignore us because we've always ignored them in some way, or our children are always hanging around us and you say, oh my goodness, give me some space. Maybe they do that because you were overprotective and you were always around their space, right? So mirroring, don't close our eyes to the things that make us weak. There's only one person, firstly, in this room that is really important. It starts with us. We are important. And as we start to deal with inside ourselves and see ourselves in a better light and realize that we can do more as a person, talk better, be more compassionate, be kinder to ourselves and others, then that effect overspills to everybody around us. Trying to make our parents proud. The child is not a miniature adult. We need to remember this. Yes, our child may have come from us, mothers. We may have bore our children, but they're not us. Fathers, you had a hand in helping bring your child into the world. You may also be working hard to feed them, educate them, but they're still not you. Parents, we have the most blessed and most difficult job that has been given to us. I use the word job loosely. We have been blessed to raise another human being, not a version 2 of us. And in raising another human being, it comes with so much heavy responsibilities, so much expectations. That's why I say to you, pause and go back to yourself. Who What do I really need so that I speak kinder, that I speak more with compassion? And teens, I talked to you earlier and I said to you, it also goes with you. Ask yourself, when mom and dad speak to me that way and I get upset, why do I get upset? What is upsetting me with the way they speak? Ask myself, is it because, and then you fill in that gap. And as you get more and more used to going inward and talking about and finding out about yourselves, the more we build that bridge between a parent and a child, between a parent and another parent, your spouse, your partner, between teachers and students. I have been in education for 25 years myself, and I know in that classroom of 30, 40 kids, 30, 40 personalities, that can be overwhelming. But when we go out into the world, into our homes, into classrooms with intention of kindness, compassion, and wanting to do good, good will flow from us. You're right. We should not force our thoughts on them. Thank you for these beautiful comments. Now, as we come closer to the end, I want to say this. Building awareness is that trigger that happens, right? Screaming child constantly on the phone and you want to get that off. Messy bedroom, not eating dinner, coming home late without telling you. Oh, the triggers are so many for us parents. For educators, a child who doesn't finish their homework, the child is always speaking in class, the child who doesn't seem to be listening to you, and everyone's talking in class. So many triggers. Teens, your trigger. Your parents are nagging at you. You want to do what you want to do, but no one allows you to do it. You want that new phone. You want that new shoes. You want to... All our triggers. Between the thing that triggers us and the time we react, I have called this the nano gap. It's so tiny. That tiny space is when you become from the beautiful, nice person you are into the incredible Hulk, right? Or you run away. That nano gap can be widened and widened and widened and widened. Use your meditation. Use the self-reflection. Keep working on yourself and asking what keeps triggering me, what keeps bringing up the emotions that I have. And in time, the time you triggered, you breathe, you are clear to think, you will then ask yourself, what is the better way to respond? And then you won't react anymore. You will be responding, not reacting. And being patient is, again, willpower, motivation, patience. There's only so much we can do alone, but you can fortify yourself with this raising awareness. So trigger, breathe, reflect as often as you can about how you are behaving, how you are reacting, and ask yourself, is there a better way to respond to a child who slammed their door? Is there a better way to respond to my mom who is nagging at me while she's making dinner? Is there a better way to talk to my teacher who seems to be so fierce and I'm so frightened? There is always a better way. And with that, I will reiterate my point that in order to stop reacting and responding, the power to change lies in every one of us here in this room today. It is a path worth going on. It is a path that never ends. We only get better and better each day. Thank you very much. And I am open to your questions. So please, let's see what questions there are in the chat box. Okay. Hi, Talika.
Hey, Vannessa.
Okay, so I see one question. I think people
might... what a wonderful and informative session it was. Thank you very much. I cannot agree more with the point, Vannessa, you mentioned that our kids, they mirror our behavior. Whatever we reflect is actually can be seen in them. One personal question I would begin here, this Q&A from Vannessa. Like being a working parent, you always carry this guilt, the guilt of, am I doing enough? So how to manage that, get rid of that guilt, and what exactly helps?
Sure.
Because I've
That's a
experienced it
question.
myself. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that is a question so many mothers that I work with also have, and actually a lot of dads do, right? What am I? Okay, so am I doing enough? As working parents, one of the difficulties is by having that balance. I'll start with one thing. A lot of us think balance looks like this, right? We always think it has to be 100%. But I say balance can look like that. So today you do more time with your kids and less time at your work. Other days you maybe more time at your work and less time with your kids. And when you have this idea that balance is not just like that, and you can have the conversation with your child. Today, mommy's really busy. I have to finish this. I know you want to play, and I want to play with you too. So let me finish this. And then when I'm done, I'll spend it with you. And then when you are free, you can say, hey, today, mommy doesn't have to do that. Shall we do something together? The more we keep showing our kids that understanding each other's zone, you will feel more comfortable in having that conversation. When we go into a conversation with guilt, we show guilt. When we go in a conversation and say, hey, look, this is some responsibilities I have. And the child will, because we need to also teach children what responsibilities look like, right?
Perfect. That's the best thing. I think we can understand that every day is not same actually. Right.
Yes.
So can you see these questions, Vannessa?
Can. Okay, so let's go.
Yeah.
I read one. Shall I read one, Tulika?
Yeah, please
okay.
Go ahead.
I like this one because it says, my son is 15. Both of us are introverts. I come home from work and I'm exhausted. How do I connect with him better? Sometimes he complains. Okay. Kriti, does he complain that you are not connecting with him, or he complains about school in general? But I jumped to this question because my daughter is also 15, right? And because you're introverted, connection doesn't mean conversation all the time, right? Connection can be, say to your son, hey, let's just sit down. Let's have a cup of, my favorite cup of chai. Have a cup of chai and sit down, right? And that's it. Just sit together. Sit together, because that is presence. You don't need to talk, because if your child is introverted, just like you understand that energy. We don't need to talk. We are side by side. And then you both take each other's energy. On days where he wants to talk a little more, let him talk. Give him space. Remember, we don't need to react or respond to everything. We allow that person space to talk. And if you say your son is complaining, let him complain. Do you know why he's complaining to you? Because you're the safe space. He knows he can come home, say these things to you, and you will still love him. Allow space. Complain, and say, you seem to have a hard day. I understand. That is quite difficult, isn't it? Yes, I've heard you. Is there anything else I can do? Is there anything I can do for you? And that's it. He's 15. Let's see.
Thank you, Kriti, for your question. Thank you, Vannessa.
Oh.
The next question is, we can take Dr. Sudha Bansal. She's
Sure.
asking, how do I decrease my 15 years old son's screen time? I think many of the parents are having this question.
Okay.
Though he is an intelligent boy, good in studies, well behaved, but the screen time is something which is bothering many parents. Yeah.
There's been so many research conducted out there. Some of them are conflicting, and parents also ask me about screen time, and I say this to you. One, Dr. Sudha, if you try talking to your child and it doesn't work, some parents say they end up fighting with their child. I say one strategy is go in with curiosity. Ask your child, hey, you're playing this game quite a lot. What is it about? Hey, show me how to play this game. And the child will say, no. I say, come on. Because let me see, let me understand. And some teens are open to showing you that you can build that connection and start understanding, why is my child so interested in the screen. Once we start conversation, we can then start exchanging views and saying, oh, you like that. How about we do something different today and then tomorrow? And we start negotiating. We're teaching teens negotiation is okay. And then perhaps from that conversation, we can cut it down slowly. Go in with curiosity, not with damage control.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sudha. Thank you, Vannessa. This is another question from Kavya Malhotra. She's asking, how should I deal my teen brother with ADHD?
Kavya, thank you for asking that question. The more that we have been understanding about ADHD, and I know it is a big struggle for some people. I'm not sure how old you are, Kavya. I'm assuming that you're older than your teen brother for having asked this question. So, one question. For you to know that your brother has ADHD means he has been diagnosed and he has some connection you've gone to for diagnosis. I would suggest one first is that person who has diagnosed your brother provides skills and strategies for the family. That is very, very important. Once they provide skills and strategies, then you and your family will understand how to interact with your brother. I have a client, he's not a teen, he's a preteen. He has been diagnosed with ADHD as well, and he gets temper tantrums, and the whole family is very stressed. So I have the whole family to deal with. And moments like that, the sibling also cry and said, I don't know how to deal with this. And one of the things I say to them in that moment, when your brother is crying, it is not your fault. It is not you. You do not need to fix the situation because the elder girl is taking on herself. So when your brother is in that situation, you do not need to be the parent because the parents are around. So I advise her to move away to a space where she can feel calmer a little bit first. I know in a situation, I'm sorry the question is long because it's a very complex thing to answer. In a situation where you're interacting and your brother is either pushing you, not engaging, this is where either you have the skills to integrate or you bring your family in to help you at that time. I need to know more of that situation and then I can help and support you in that question because I can't know what the interaction is at the moment.
Thank you for your question, Kavya. Yeah. This Mehak Doshi is a student, Vannessa.
Yes.
She's asking, how can I be more confident as a student?
Oh, Mahak, again, I love these open questions and thank you for asking that. Confidence is not something we can just get off the shelf. I would love to have met you to say and see what is it that you're not feeling confident about. Confidence is you actually believing in yourself that you can do things. Remember that when you were young, you couldn't walk, you couldn't read, you couldn't do and write. Today you can. How did that happen? Practice, right? And then other things, whether cycling, swimming, whatever. It took patience and perseverance. So confidence is something you do, small step. What do you need to be confident in? Let's say it's standing in front of a group of people and speaking. Try it with a small group. And then be part of a club. And then it grows bigger and bigger. And remember, when you learn to cycle a bicycle, you fell, but you got up again. This will happen. And confidence is skill building. Over time, if you want to be confident in a musician, you practice it. You want to be confident in speaking, you practice it. Confidence is not confidence for every part of your life. Nobody has confidence in every. That's what I'm saying. So pick an area, improve on that. When you improve on that, the rest of your being will feel so good that you have accomplished that. It will pour into every other area of your life. All the best in what you're doing.
Thank you, Mehak, for your question. Now, people who are willing to come for a video question, please raise your hands. We'll start taking video questions here, Vannessa.
That's lovely.
Another parent is having the same, almost similar question: how to improve my child's self-confidence? She's Januka Chetri. So I think, yeah. Can you see the question?
Yes, I think it's about the same question.
Yeah.
Give your child something small, one particular area. Don't expect them to be confident in every part of our life. That is overwhelming. No one can do that. No one can learn to cycle and then unicycle everything at the same time, right? So pick one area. If your child wants to be confident in football, do that. If your child wants to be confident in speaking to somebody, encourage. Don't demotivate. Don't ridicule, because that will only make somebody go inward rather than outward, right? So if your child is very shy, for example, you say hello to auntie, and your child is hiding behind like that. Don't say, come on, or don't say, you're so shy. Just say, oh, well, he's not feeling up to it today, then that's okay. And then push that. So we don't make it big. We don't make it big. Ooh, who do we have here?
Great. So We have Rehnuma. All right. Rehnuma. Hi, Rehnuma.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for joining us. Please ask your
Hello.
question.
Good evening.
Ma'am, as a teenager, I want to ask how we can choose our goal in after the 10th class.
How to choose a goal for yourself, a career. I understand. In your school, do you have career counselors that you can speak to about what you are interested in?
Rehnuma,
Can you hear me?
can you hear us? She's asking,
No,
do you
ma'am.
have
No.
do you have career counselors? Are we audible now?
No, ma'am, your voice is not coming well.
Okay, maybe there is a connection issue, I guess, here. So okay. Rehnuma, can you hear us now?
Yes, ma'am, now I can hear you.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So my question was, do you have career counselors in school who can talk you through about your personality, your interests?
Ma'am, I not yet decide what I can do.
Yes, I understand.
That's what she's saying. She's asking, do you have a career counselor, Rehnuma? आपके स्कूल में are people helping you with in choosing a right career? आपके स्कूल में counselors हैं? Do you have counselors in the school?
No, ma'am.
Career counselors?
Okay, he doesn't have that. All right.
No.
So I would suggest that. How old are you now? Could I ask
am
that?
16
Okay.
years.
Yes. This can seem like a very scary moment in your life when you have to make
Yes.
that decision. I understand. I would say one of the things you could do is to list down, actually write down, what are you interested in first? What interests you? Okay, you make a list. Don't stop yourself that it has to be academic. No, anything, just write down everything, all your interests, because for so many adults, sometimes our job and our actual interest come together to create a pathway for us. Write down all your interests and then circle the top 3 things that you think, you know what, in the next 5 years, I will be happy to stick with that, right? And after you circle the top 3 things that you're happy to stick with for the next 5 years, go online and research and ask yourself, if I was interested in this, what could I study? If I was interested in that, what could I study? Then you take all that and ask yourself again, I look at these things. Will these things bring me joy in my life? If I did this, that's one, right? Joy is internal. Second, if I did this job, what is the next step for me? Do I have a way to grow in the job, or am I stuck in that job? Right? And after that, then you ask yourself, okay, now I think I will find joy in this. Yes, there is a career pathway. Then start talking to your parents as well. Bring them into your conversation. You know, your parents have a wealth of life experience too. They can also say, how about this? How about that? And then connect with people in that industry if you can. And the more you learn about it, the more you'll say, I think that is for me, or I'm not sure. And it's okay to be not sure. So you ask more questions. Go with curiosity, all right?
Thank you, Rehnuma. Hope you got the answer. Thank you, Vannessa.
Thank you.
Anybody else here? Okay.
Ma'am, I want to ask that I'm interested in traveling and photographing, but I have not any idea how we can do. That's why I'm deciding to do another things which I don't interested in it. But
Yes.
as a parent, if from the parents' pressure, I must to do as the perspective of my parents.
Yes, I do understand that the parents
I think you should explore more.
Yeah.
That is what you can do, Vannessa. Explore more about the careers which you're interested in. Don't depend on only on or for a help from the counselors, from the parents. Do your own research.
Curious.
Rehnuma.
Be curious. Yes.
Yes. Look for the answers which you're looking in for and Google it. Look for the careers. Right? Thank you. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Yes, we have here with us is ma'am. I'm sorry, I'm not able to read your name. Can you please thank you for joining us this evening, ma'am. You can ask your question.
No, ma'am, not yet.
Hi, ma'am.
Is it
Hello, both of you.
Rance?
I'm
Hi.
Ranjita. I'm Ranjita from Sikkim. My
Hi,
son,
Ranjita.
he's very like it. My son is very introvert. I cannot say like he talks very less at home. He never express himself at home. But this time when I went to school to get him from the school, the teacher, one of the teachers said like to my husband, like he's very talkative in the class, and we became so happy. By hearing this, we didn't scold him like you are talking too much in the class. Don't talk. We never say. We never do that also as a parent. But at home, he never expressed himself.
So your question
That is my
is,
problem.
why do you see it as a problem?
Yeah. Like he's very good to me. He's very good to his
Yeah.
father. We spend time also together. I understand him. And recently I had lost my elder son also. It can be because of that also. See, he might be missing his
Thank
brother.
you. Thank you for saying that. Now, you see, more of the family situation will tell me
Yes.
does make sense. So the beginning when you said he was not talking, I was wondering why were you anxious? But now when you told me this story, I'm sorry for the loss of your son. And
Yeah.
yes, he might be feeling, you are right, he might be feeling the pressure at home. And he might be feeling that if everyone's not talking, because there are many things that I cannot assume what's on his mind. But is he bearing the pressure of being that son? Is he also mourning the loss of his brother? And he's carrying all that too. So in a situation like this, yes, it can be that he might not be ready to talk yet. But that doesn't mean that you give up talking. You could also just act normal first and just say, how are you? You know, if anything's on your mind, keep opening up to him and say, I'm here if you need to talk. We are here if you need to talk. And just keep reminding him. And when he's inside, and if he really needs to talk, and if you notice big changes, I would recommend that's a time if you would need a therapist, if you feel there's really big changes to his personality. But other than that, not meeting him and seeing all of you as a family, I can just say, be welcoming to him and just say, if you want to talk, I'm here. If you had a good day, you know, and just be there. Just be there. One day he will think, okay, I want to say something to you, mom. Right? In school it's different
He's a
because
very good child.
he's a good child.
He's a very good child. Yeah,
Right?
whenever I ask him, like, Ishan, just go and get this, he immediately go and get that
Yes.
thing. And
Yeah.
I just try to go nearby him and I kiss on his forehead and all. We are very good parents. I understand his feelings also.
Yes.
I'm a motivational coach also, a manifestation
Yes.
coach. So I
Yes.
understand
Oh,
him
nice.
properly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So by understanding him, I suppose that the thing is allowing him to just be for that moment. If there's no endangerment to his life or well-being, he's probably also grieving in his own way. So as you are a motivation coach and manifestation coach, you know that the energies, as long as we are positive, he will feel that. And one day when his heart is ready, he will speak to you. And can I just say something, Rance? And to all parents here, all our children are good children.
Yes.
All of them.
Yeah, even I feel that every child they have the different fragrances.
Yes.
They have
Yes.
different essence. Okay, and then they
Yes.
have their own feelings. We cannot put our dreams to them. They have their own
Correct.
dreams.
I think so. Yes, they do. And one day they will be adults
Yeah.
and having their own
Thank
dreams. They
you.
need to dream. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you for your
Vannessa.
understanding. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
for your
Tilika
question.
ma'am.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There are a few more good questions in the Q&A, Vannessa. If you can see, there is somebody called Preeti Sue. She's asking how to help a child who feels that he's behind others in every aspect, like learning things, etc. As he takes more time in learning things, there are certain things which makes him frustrated, angry at times when he sees some of his friends doing things which he cannot. I think it is a very, very good question. Thank you, Preeti ma'am, for asking this.
It's a very good question.
Yeah.
And it's a question that a lot of children feel this, but very few know how to show it this way. Some will show it through anger, bullying, and just We are all others. So your child is showing it this way when he feels frustrated. He is frustrated with himself. He feels he.
I think we lost Vannessa. Just wait. She might join again. Yeah. Hi, Vannessa.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I've just got kicked out.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Didn't like my answer.
Yeah. So
Okay.
connectivity issue, I guess.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
okay. So let's go back to that question. Oh, let me just open. So the question was, oh, I've lost the question area. Anyway,
Yeah.
so the child is feeling not worth it. The child is feeling, oh, everyone is better than me. So as a parent, I would say that has happened and still happens to my own daughter, that she's feeling like everybody's better. So one of the things I have learned to do is not patronize them to say, oh no, you're good, you're beautiful. I stop that. Because that is only making them think, ugh, of course you would think that way. You're my parent, right? So I've come with the approach now. What is troubling you? What is difficult? Why do you feel that way? But sometimes not too much whys. It will be, I see that you're having trouble with this, you're frustrated. What can I do for you? Tell me. Can I help you? And that's what I go in with that approach. And when my child keeps saying, everybody's better, why everybody got top marks? And it's a conversation that doesn't happen in one day. Just remember, it's an ongoing conversation because everyone's different. We all learn different things. Your friend may be good at maths, but you are good in something else. When you grow up, you'll notice that somebody's good at creating this, but you are good at that. And we remind them of the diversity of the world through daily conversations and connections, because we want to try to get our children to bloom in their confidence. So we just remind them that we all learn at different rates. And one very important thing, we tend to place the wellness and the excellence of our child on grades. So maybe grades is not the answer. Yes, okay, so math is not what everybody else is doing, and it's okay. You play the violin so well. You play cricket so well. The way you speak to me is so well. Highlight the good things for your child.
Thank you, Preeti, for your question. Another very interesting question, Vannessa, here. It is asked by an educator called Ms. Aparna Trivedi. She's asking, hello, ma'am, I'm an educator. I want to ask, when we scold any student for doing anything wrong, they feel offended. And back answer, at times the situation gets worse. So this is a question from an educator. I think many educators are having the same question in their hearts. Yes. Yeah.
So when you scold the child reacts. Is that it? Because I can't see that question. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this situation, I will ask you, the educator, what do you want in the classroom? I'll throw that question back to you. What do you want in the classroom? Why did you scold the child? Is there a necessity to scold? Right? I'm being in the classroom. I don't want my teacher to scold me. I feel embarrassed. I feel like, why are you picking on me? I may be the naughty one, right? And I will fight back with you because that's the child's fighting personality. So I always ask myself, what do I want as an educator? If that child is making noise, you know what I'll do? I'll probably pull the child out of the class and have that conversation. And I remember having this in school, and I say, look, I did not shout, I did not point you out in class during that time because I respected you as a person, right? So now we're having one-to-one, and then I have that conversation. I want to come with respect before anger. And again, I learned that the hard way too as an educator, because I had to learn, how do I speak in a way that my teens in class respected me as much as I respected them, right? Yes.
Thank you. I think it is absolutely a give and take, Vannessa. I 100% agree with you.
Yes.
Thank you for the question. Now, another question from Mr. Govinda Joshi. He's asking, as a psychologist, can I use CBT and DBT therapy in schools? Can you see this question?
Yeah, I think it was somewhere earlier I saw it, but I can't. Whether you should use it in school, wow. I think you're more qualified than me to answer that question. If you have to use it in school, then I think this is something that you would need to talk to the principal about or the board about, because applying something like this without the parents' approval may not be something parents want. So when we are in an when we educators, I know we go in that we are substitute for parents at that time, right? Local parentists, but local parentists comes to a certain point. When it comes to therapy, I think we need to ask the parents and the school board and the principal whether that's okay.
Do we have some more video questions here? Okay. So Vannessa, I think this is one of the very common question many other parents also asking about the extended stretched screen time for their kids.
Okay.
Let it be television, phone, or I think a very, very common question. What do you have to say about it? Yeah.
I would say we go back to the beginning. Those of you who have very young children, I say, don't give them a mobile phone when they are born. It is not the third limb. Hold off the phone till they're 14. Research has shown that 14 is probably just the time that they are learning and they can understand responsibility a little bit more. I know you will say, but my child is comparing, my child is crying. Hello? Who has some boundary laying to do? Parents. If you are the feigner, you are so worried about not giving your child because you're worried about your child hating you, right? But you are, through conversations, you tell your child, what's the research behind it? It is just brain draining, doom scrolling things. So have these conversations and really pick out some language that you can use for your child to understand. It's not good for your brain. There are really research showing this, that if you want to grow up to be healthy brain-wise, lots of gray matter, can think creatively, the phone destroys gray matter because you're not allowing creativity and focus. Do you notice those if your kids already have phones and for the phones for a long time, in their middle years and teens, do you notice that your kids' attention is shrinking? Why are they shrinking? Because everything on the phone is 3 seconds, 30 seconds, 3 seconds. So they are training the brain to only focus a short period of time. So I ask you, if you're an educator, you know this, you're seeing this in the classroom. There's no surprise why our kids lose attention so fast. It is not their fault. It's the fault of the technology. But to say fault of technology is also wrong, because technology is just an object. It's whether we have that conversation to use it. So to not reduce gray matter in the brain, to allow our children to have longer attention spans, talk to them about it. You can also negotiate time spent on it and take it away, right? No sleeping in the room with the phone. No phones past a certain time. Make it, especially with teenagers, they may be very angry. If you haven't had rules, this is going to be very difficult, I'll say to you honestly. But if you start and you have conversations, you will get tantrums. After a while, they will realize it really helps them. Oh, have you read research too about schools around the world that are removing mobile phones from schools and what kids are saying that they have benefited so much? Bring this up with your children to talk to them about how kids around the world are also responding. They feel that they are better, they're sleeping better, learning better, and talking and spending time with friends.
Thank you. One thing I would like to mention here, Vannessa, I'm sorry to say this, but I've also seen many of the parents using this technology as per their convenience. I'm really sorry to say this. I'm really sorry to say this, but as and when they want to engage their kids, when they're doing things, they give them phone, and as and when they don't want them to use the phones, they just want to grab it and snatch it from them. That's not the right thing to do. I'm sorry to say that. We cannot use it as per our convenience, I think. What do you say about
saying that? I agree with you. I didn't get to that point about, remember we talked about mirroring in the whole session? If we want this young child who knows so little of the world compared to us, of course we have to mirror it. If I'm talking to my child like this, right? Hey, go and get the thing for me. Oh, what do you say? How is a child going to engage with me? Next time he will talk to you like that. Yeah, mom. Okay. And then you get frustrated. So you got to ask yourself in that reflection awareness, how did he do that? Oh my gosh, I've been doing that for the last 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years. So go back to yourself. Our children mirror us. Definitely. thank you for bringing that up, Talik.
Thank you. I think there are many questions in the chat box as well. I was expecting the questions to be in the Q&A, but I can see now there are some questions in the chat box. Okay. Oh, okay. I saw some question. I can't see it again now. The question was, Vannessa, there was a physical education teacher who's actually taking care of the physical education in the school. He was saying that students they become abusive during the sessions, during in the playgrounds and all. How to control that? That was his question.
Wow, how old are the kids? When you say abusive, what does that mean? That sounds frightening. Are they punching each other? So I think...
I mean to say the verbal abuse. They abuse.
Yeah. Oh, they abuse each other. Yes. Yeah. And I'm assuming these are boys. I'm making a very broad, sweeping thing. If these are boys, one of the things that my mind goes to is the idea of what the boys are watching, what games they are playing, and who are their role models. Unfortunately, Dad, you're not always your son's role model when they hit teenagehood. And you were their role model for a while. And after a while, they're looking for external, which is natural. They look for external role models. So what our children watch on social media, games they play, and then the other friends around them, they're also taking it in the cultural matrix. So this is what's happening. So when this is happening, I guess as an educator, if that was happening to me, I would have to pull the boys aside and really have one-to-one sessions and conversation with them. It's like, I heard you say that today. Do you know what that means? What brought that up? Where do you hear this language? Why do you think it's okay to say it? Right? And I think sometimes children don't even know that these could be mean things and hurtful things in a way, that they're just saying it, it's like, oh, cool to say certain things or do something. But when having that conversation and you actually call out to them and say, hey, look, you've got to be responsible for what you're saying. Teens are ready for that conversation. Have that responsibility building conversation with them.
Perfect. I think we are almost towards finishing this session. Vannessa, I would one common question, quick question, the last question I would consider this. That is typically the teens who are attention seekers and who do things which they're not even supposed to do, even when they're in the classrooms or they're in the gatherings or they are somewhere in the outings, whether they're with the parents or the teachers. So how to handle those kids? It's very important question.
It's a very broad one, because first thing, I will always do in any situation like this, I like to talk to the children. I like to get to know them, figure them, what are you saying? I've noticed this behavior, what's triggering, what's bringing this up for you? With your parents, you say this, I will have that conversation. Why? That child is actually acting out something that they need, but they don't know how to say that they need it. So the child is attention seeking. From my experience in working in schools, a child who's up there making noise, when I was very unconscious myself, I used to call them the troublemakers. And I loved having these troublemakers because I would talk to them. And the more you talk to them and have a conversation with them as an educator, you learn some of them come from very hard lives.
True.
They come from lives where they are all themselves lacking so much that all they need is to show up. And because no one's listening to me at home, I play it out here. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying, knowing people, everyone has their story. And the more this teenage child is not having their needs met, he's going to grow up to be an adult whose needs are not met, and it will come out in other ways too. So as an educator, it's a big responsibility as well, having conversations with our kids. Again, if you have a class of 40 and 5 of them keep doing this and you try to talk to everyone, we also must be compassionate to ourselves as adults. If I can change one life, I change 1,000,000 lives. I can't change every 40 child's life in my classroom because I'm human. But I can have that conversation and go with compassion and kindness as much as I can. And when I get angry and frustrated, I also must remember I'm human. And I can tell my class, hey, the way you're behaving is also not kind to me or to others, because compassion breeds compassion. That's how I feel.
you for that lovely answer, Vannessa. I must say that this is a very, very helpful session for most of the parents who are here. Though we could not pick all the questions and we cannot stretch the session even more. I hope this was a help, Vannessa. I think you have really made a point that more and more parents are participating and they're getting the answers of some very crucial questions which we think that we were addressing typically for this particular session, how to respond, not react to your child's behavior. So thank you. We'll connect again for some more sessions. Just a quick drop to our next session, Vannessa here. We are having another masterclass in the same series, which is Teen Mental Wellness, on 10th of 10th of February again, after 10 days of another class. And the speaker of the class, yes, can we have the visual, please? Yes. This particular session is, I think many parents who were asking Vannessa about the digital overload and the reactions of the students who are actually spending a lot of time on screen. It is going to be a great help for all of you parents and students. Please join us on 10th of February for Unplugged Stress, Beating Exam Pressure and Digital Overload, a very, very important concern of the parents by Dr. Anantika Tehelani. Yes. So, Vannessa, once again, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for your time, for your presence. Some final parting words here, Vannessa, some words of wisdom from you. Yeah.
Remember that we all have choices. And we can make the best choice we can in any situation we are in. The power lies with you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Vannessa, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Good evening.